Wonderful. So welcome back. And for the rest of this hour, I'll open it up here for any questions or challenges around meditation. So just for this time, we're just focusing on questions around this core teaching of meditation. So we'll go to Elaine first. There we go. Wonderful. We can hear
Hello?
you. Yeah.
Okay, great, 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 great. Hi, hi.
Hi, love.
Um, I just want to say I love meditation. I love
Wonderful.
it. And and I know this is not a problem, just something to say. I intend to meditate with one of the 14 doorways. I've gone through like 30-day challenge, 30 days with many, many, many of them. And almost inevitably, I will just say inevitably, it it starts with one of the doorways, but it dissolves into formlessness. Formlessness, right? Not a problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. As we said, they're just words, awareness,
Right.
presence, that point to that which is really completely indefinable, indescribable. But that word might bring us, it might be a little something that we can use to access the direct experience. There's something aware right now, right?
Right.
Something present, something silent. And they just help us, not that the formlessness has any qualities, but they're like 14 flavors of the same thing, or um, fingers pointing to the moon. So they will all eventually end up in the same place. It's just that some words, um, for example, silence, emphasize the fact that it's not making any sound. It's completely inaudible, what we are. Awareness pointed me to the fact that it's sentient, it's aware. I'm aware that it's not just dead, empty space. It's aware, it's alive, it's sentient. So,
So you're getting really more. You seem to get more than when I'm ultimately. I think I'm not experiencing different flavors, but I do experience emptiness and aliveness, all the words, all of it. Here-ness, just expansion.
for me,
So,
those words they were just helpful because, can it be true that I can't meditate if it's always now? Whatever I feel in a particular moment, if I feel really frustrated because I can't meditate today, I can notice that that frustration is arising now
right.
or here. It's arising here, not there. So they're just words that connect me back to the fact that I'm always here as this, whatever this is.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing I did want us to, I don't know, maybe celebrate was I was I was thinking of the dance of attention, form, formless, form, formless, and then I understood or something that I wasn't. It wasn't one or the other.
Mm.
It was awareness and form, or
Awareness
silence
as form, right?
and sound.
Yeah.
Say again?
Awareness as form. Awareness in its formless, unmanifested invisibleness, and then awareness appearing as a body, as these words, everything.
Well, I, I have no idea what you just said. It's only because um, everything dissolves in formlessness. And so I'm no longer, I mean, I don't choose form and then I choose formlessness, but they're both sometimes quite much present, both of them, and it's not a problem. It's just it's formlessness. It's like contextual field. They're the form and but the formlessness is more prominent because I'm just kind of being with the formlessness, not terribly interested in the form. But the form doesn't go away.
And our meditation will take us in the end to see that they're exactly the same, right?
Yeah,
Exactly the same.
yeah,
And as I focus on that which is always here, seemingly a background, it will move to the foreground. And it'll be
yeah,
obvious that anything appearing in this, over time, it'll become more obvious that anything appearing in this is this, can't be anything else, you know.
yes,
But even before that, whatever phenomenon arises, it's not in conflict. It's not like thoughts and sounds are in conflict with silence. They just emphasize the silence, remind us of the silence, right? They're so useful. We're not
yes,
fighting with anything. Yeah.
yes, yes,
And there's plenty of opportunity to notice thoughts and then come back to silence. Each time we get to reconfirm silence is still here.
yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for sharing. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Eva. Can you hear us, Eva?
Yes,
Wonderful.
but
Okay.
you will not be able to see me. It's better for everybody if I keep the camera off today.
That's okay, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, okay. But you can hear me okay?
Absolutely. Lovely and clear.
Good. Well, I have a question. I'm not sure I can really find the words to ask the question, but it's something that comes up quite often in meditation. Um, like today, when we were meditating on the silence, all of a sudden this body is kind of just floating around in this big, black, beautiful, soft silence.
Mm.
And almost immediately, my intuition tells me to just curiously stay there, but I'm not giving that option. It is like I have an off switch that automatically just puts me back on the chair or whatever.
Yeah. So just noticing that, right? That something is noticing silence and then something is noticing the body. And then you might drift back into silence again and then out again.
Yeah.
What if it's
Okay.
not our job to stay here in silence? We're just noticing it, just tasting it, and uh, it's guaranteed that attention will wander to some form, right? A thought or something at some point. And that's really quite normal. And it doesn't need to stop. We don't need to stop attention wandering away. We're just tasting this silence while we're noticing it, not blaming ourselves when attention wanders away. And then just gently coming back, listening to silence again. And somehow, as we do that over time, each day consistently for 20 minutes, the habit turns around. So instead of always going out again to um, thoughts and objects and phenomena, attention just comes to rest more and more on the silence by itself because we're setting a new habit. You can probably feel that, right, as you're meditating more and more, as in not each day in terms of time, but more days go by, weeks, months. The attention is coming back more and more seemingly by itself, right, to silence.
Yes, when you say what you're saying, I kind of already know all of that, but I guess my mind just wants to do something about it. Yeah,
It's
I
normal.
know it all.
It's so normal, and it's easy to kind of get caught in that idea that we have to make attention stay over here, that that's the
Yeah,
purpose of meditation. And
not just the purpose. I really want to stay there. I really
yeah,
want to explore that. But yes, I know. Yeah,
but noticing, and this is, where we'll get to eventually, is silence is always here. Every time attention comes back, it's still
yeah,
here. It's still here. It's still here. It's the only thing that's still here. Whatever seems to pull me out is coming and going and not dependable. It's not wrong, it's just not dependable, right?
mm,
So just by gently preferring that which is still here, always in the background.
yeah.
And of course, in
It,
our self-inquiry later, we'll look at self-inquiry, we see that there's nobody to be pulled out, and that speeds the whole thing up. Because if you
yeah,
notice, when you listen to silence, that listening itself is silent, isn't it?
yeah,
Silence is it's not really a person listening, and we know this intellectually, but just for the sake of really going deeper, silence is listening to itself. If I listen to the birds now singing outside the window, my listening is silent, isn't it? It's completely silent. If I listen to a thought might say, you're not doing this meditation right, but that which is listening to the thought is silent already. So in the end, it
mhm,
doesn't matter, right, whether I'm listening to a thought or listening to myself as silence. I'm always silent. It's just that my body feels nicer when I listen to silence to myself. But listen to thoughts, my body has to live those thoughts, right?
yeah,
There's a dropping of efforting then of I need to somehow get to silence and stay there. It's just I am silence actually. If I listen right now, there's just silence listening, right?
absolutely.
Can you feel something kind of just relaxing in that? Even if I think I've been pulled out of silence towards a thought, I'm still completely silently listening to the thought. Or kids playing outside or whatever it is.
Yeah,
You really can't get away from silence when you look, actually.
mm, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I'm sure it's everyone's question as well, so thank you for sharing. Wonderful. Okay, we'll go to Holly. There we go.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Um, Elaine was talking about everything, all the doorways dissolving into formlessness, and then you were talking about sort of different flavors of different doorways. And as you were going through them at the beginning, I was just noticing how different ones have these different internal experiences, I guess I'll say,
Yeah,
for
that's a good
me.
way to put it, really, actually. Yeah.
It's
I
like,
might steal that one from you.
well, like for me, silence and stillness just have this like utter purity. And then there's like I am or I exist or here-ness or nowness. And those start to have some kind of, I don't know, energetic or vibrational quality when I'm in them. And then when you were talking about subjectivity as experiencing, and I'm like, wow, that is really, really different this than silence, at least in my world. And so I'm just curious about, uh, and it's like when I'm in experiencing, it's like I accept that, and regardless of what I'm experiencing, it's like I still am,
Hmm.
you know, but on the other hand, experiencing seems so much, I don't know, louder or something, than silence. So I was just wondering, it's like, it's like, should I put more emphasis on these ones that are louder so I should to get to like silence even when I'm in the experiencing, or is it more about just relaxing into, all of these are me and they're just different flavors of me. So I was hoping you might comment on that.
Yeah, it'll be the same, right? For the longest time, silence had this absoluteness about it, totality of here it is, this infinite silence that was all I could say about it was completely silent. And it also came with that stillness, that quality of stillness as well. This is where words get tangled up because they're all dualistic.
Yeah,
But and there were some that have a different, like awakeness, awareness. It would bring forth the not so much the emphasis on the inaudibility of silence, but more on the aliveness that the sentience is before the form. So
yeah,
the form itself, the mind, the person, the body, they don't have any intelligence. That intelligence is borrowed from the awakeness, the awareness, that which is alive. And then still there were others like subjectivity helped me to really recognize there is nobody here experiencing this moment. This conversation is just being experienced by nobody in particular, right? Through these two bodies. And then still even beingness emphasized the fact that I'm not doing anything. I'm just being, that my body is doing, my mind is thinking, but I'm not doing anything. So they all had these flavors, as you said. And some of them felt like they were opening up, well, in fact, all of them, and I've been around them, gosh, I don't know how many times. They all helped me open up to see a little different aspect of what it means to be formless. But there were also some that I had resistance to. Just because they're on the list now doesn't mean I liked them to start off with, you know. I heard this word subjectivity and I don't even want to hear it. It's just nasty in my ears, you know? What? But over time, there became this natural curiosity towards these doorways that I did not feel I had really made friends with. Just naturally began to, if silence is silent and it's alive and it's aware, how can it be subjectivity? Like something wanted to be able to go in all 14 doors. And then I found that there were some doorways that I could use in different situations. So if it was in the middle of an airport, at first I couldn't hear the silence. It didn't feel like I could hear with all the noise, the stimuli. But I could recognize that there's something that knows all this stimuli. There's a knower there. So naturally, as I wanted to spend more time and eventually all the time being myself, there was something that was moved to look at these more challenging names, words, doorways, as a way to make sure I could always access that I could never feel cut off. And most of the time, when we don't like a particular doorway, it's because we're thinking about it. We think we know what it is. The reason we don't like the word subjectivity, for example, is because might have some ideas that it's hard or it's complex. But really, it's no different than silence. So can we be curious about subjectivity? Like I'd like to have the same experience of subjectivity as I do with silence. or whatever we, are looking at.
So I guess one of the questions I have about experiencing is I've had this idea that in order to be experiencing, I have to have a body.
But aren't you experiencing the body right now? You know a body's here, you're experiencing it. Whatever you are,
Right.
you have to be here before whatever you experience, right?
I guess, and what I'm also noticing is I think there are ways that I understand words, like how they live in my mind, how I've been brought up, and it's like coloring
Yeah.
how I experience each of these things. So when I think about experiencing, I'm not thinking so much about the awareness of the experience.
Mm.
I'm thinking about, oh, this if when I touch the stove, it's hot,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the
and
gift of these doorways that might feel more unappealing at first. They're going to open out into something that really loses all meaning. So I'm not thinking about
yeah,
subjectivity experiencing up here. I'm actually just beginning to live it, to experience it directly.
yeah,
That in some ways the ones that we don't want to play with are going to give us the biggest gift because
yeah. I
we have a
think
lot
one
of
of the tricks
ideas
for me,
about it.
I think one of the tricks for me is going to be sort of how to unlearn some of this preconditioning.
Yeah, and
Mm,
you can just play with that in your self-inquiry, right? You can ask this question, right now I'm playing with the doorway of awareness for 30 days, meditation on awareness, and then my self-inquiry question is, what is it like to be this awareness?
hmm.
And it's shown me all the things I thought about it, even more
Yeah,
clearly and more into the direct experience. You can just sit with that, what is experiencing? Like, what is
yeah,
it that is experiencing, and just see what pops up. Have some fun with it, don't make it a chore, just like, I'll just see, You might notice some words come up like boring, limiting, frustrating, and then you're just staying with it, and not in meditation, because we don't want to be analyzing what we are in meditation, inquiring into. We're just noticing that. Later in our self-inquiry, we can take a look at it.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go to Liesel.
There we go.
There we go.
There
Yeah.
we go. Okay. um, the body, I guess, wanted to ask, maybe what you and Elaine talked about addressed it a little bit, but it seems as if, like, well, first of all, there seems to be no difference between meditation and walking around in, other than, um, sitting down and closing the eyes. And then also there seems to be nothing happening. Like there's literally no movement. Like it seems almost as if even though there's like what you would call phenomena, it seems as if like there's no movement of attention because it's clear that awareness is simultaneously it's clear that the phenomena seeming shapes are known.
Mm.
And so there's no dance, there's no ping pong or anything like that. Is that
Yeah, that's where we end up when attention goes to a form, a phenomenon. At first, we feel that's pulling us out, that's different to what's aware of it. But as it becomes clearer that everything is that awareness appearing as a form, it doesn't matter where attention goes. And then, because whatever it would look at, Whether it looks at the awareness or a thought, it's known that it's looking at the exact same thing. And then perhaps the very next thing, or very soon after that, attention just stops wandering.
Well,
What's the point of wandering attention if everything you look at is the same infinite eye, you know?
I can't even tell if attention is wandering or not because like there's still what you would call phenomena seemingly arising, but there's also simultaneously the knowing of you know, what I am and what they are. So
Yeah.
I don't even know if that is that attention anymore? Like what is
It's
that?
not so much. I mean, right now it looks like I'm holding a book, sitting in a chair, talking to another being, using a laptop. They still seem to be here in my experience, even though I know what they're made of. Um, and attention isn't drawn to them. Occasionally it's drawn to something that I haven't noticed is me yet. So something will pop up, attention might form and go to look at it every now and again. As soon as it's, oh yeah, that's also me, it's just not important so much anymore. There still always seem to be phenomena while we have senses to perceive, right? And that's not a problem as long as our attention isn't slavishly going to every single thought that pops up in our mind because it feels, relevant. So
Well, it just
everything
doesn't
looks the same to an awakened being as it would to you, right? In the sense perception.
um I mean, but by the same token, there's not like what you described, the waves and waves of bliss arising. There's just this sense of like my own immovability, maybe is what I would describe it as. Like,
Hmm.
um, and um, and then also I'm noticing that I thought this. Well, there was the thought that this would get better, but actually it seems to, I don't know, at least be the same or maybe even getting quote unquote worse, but it doesn't seem to matter, is that there still is not the formal practice as, there had been the intention to have, but it seems to not really matter because it seems as if it's happening all day long.
Meditation moves from something that we do to something that we are, right? There's no difference between me and meditation. I am meditation, constantly unfolding. The only thing that's changing is what I'm aware of. It's constantly changing. And as you said, not so important eventually. Um, so that's completely normal. And there's very little. At first, it starts off as that stillness, that immovability. And as it gets deeper and deeper into the energetic system, it will arise as bliss and joy and peace. Probably experienced peace already, maybe some joy sometimes, intermittently at first, but it will, as it cleanses through the whole energetic system and the chakras, soon you'll know it. But bliss will just be awareness is not a big deal, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Um,
Sorry, did you want to say something else real quick?
oh, well, just I guess there's still this remaining sort of question mark that like why isn't the formal practice appearing? Like it seems it still appears for you. Why is it not appearing in this body mind?
It doesn't. It doesn't for me. Every morning the body gets up, uses the bathroom, comes downstairs and sits on a little couch just behind here, however long it sits for. And while the eyes can close and the body can sit, there's a deeper experience for that time of who I really am. Just, in that moment, more bliss and more, all of that. But it's not a formal practice, as in, I'm going to sit down and meditate. It's just the body has been so conditioned over the years. This is what we do first thing in the morning or whatever. And there were times when it was not doing that. But when I stopped trying to make anything happen, or when I realized I never made anything happen, the habit just re-emerged and became even stronger to meditate each day. But it wasn't coming from a doing or anything. It was just, why wouldn't I want to taste myself? It's just like that deliciousness of resting.
Yeah. I mean, at first, it seemed as if, okay, well, it was going to burn off all of the maybe guilt or shame or sense of doingness around it. But now it's just like I'm just curious, like why it isn't the formal thing isn't appearing it, but it also seems to be clear that I can't
You gotta make it
like
happen.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so just a nice question such as what does the body want to do? Is very helpful just to open up and see what the body wants to do without any agenda or motive.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Neria.
Hola,
Hola.
hola. Me gustaría, en la puerta yo soy, no logro ver la diferencia o la forma para que me entiendan. Cuando yo digo, yo soy la que estoy viendo la pantalla,
When,
pero a la vez,
so when in the door I don't see the difference when I say I am the one who is looking at the screen.
y a la vez quiero controlar cómo me siento o cómo hablo, ahí ya no soy o soy. O sea, no veo la diferencia como para ver esa sutileza cuando me pierdo en la forma de ese yo
At
soy.
the same time, I don't see when I get lost in the form, I don't see the subtleness of seeing myself. Like,
Ahí es donde quiero enfatizar cuando me pierdo, cuando dejo de ser ese yo soy.
I want to emphasize
Experimentar.
when I get lost and I stop being that I am.
So just because attention has gone away from I am doesn't mean that the I am has disappeared. We could say I amness is here and we're noticing it right now. Let's notice it together, you and me. Just the sense I am. I'm here. I am. And then attention might go to a thought that pops up. But still you're here, right? You're still here to notice the thought. If you can see a thought, or you can see an emotion, aware of an emotion, can you be absent?
No,
So, in a strange way, what way?
estoy en línea y estoy preguntando.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, que no soy consciente, pero es como si me distrajera en ese momento, me perdiera en ese instante y me dejara llevar. Y vuelvo, pero no logro no logro ver. Ahora que estabas hablando,
I'm not aware, but then I get lost and I don't get to see. I get distracted.
So if you're aware of awareness or aware of a thought, aren't you still aware in both cases? Is awareness
sí,
is awareness changing? Sometimes I'm aware of myself, the awareness. Sometimes I'm aware of a thought. But still you're aware all the time. Awareness looks at a thought and totally falls in love with that thought, completely loves it. And we feel like I've gone, I've disappeared. But you must still be here as awareness because you can tell me what that thought was. If I ask you, what were you thinking about? You can say, oh, I was thinking about what to have for dinner tomorrow. So you were still here to notice the thought, to be aware of it. Awareness is constant. We say that when awareness looks at a phenomenon, that awareness is gone. But it's only because we focused on what we're looking at. But what is looking is still here looking, right? Can you see that? Can you have a thought without awareness there to see it? Can you have any experience without being there to notice it, to be aware of it? Right now, it seems like we're focused on this conversation, you and me, but we're still aware of the words and aware of what our eyes are seeing. And if you have a big realization, like, oh, you still notice that from awareness. Now you're smiling.
sí, porque me acabo de dar cuenta de que cuando empecé, o sea, en este momento que estaba hablando, estaba como nerviosa por el momento, pero a la vez me enfoqué en eso que soy y me relajé y
Yes,
ya la cogí.
because now
Me
when I was
pareció
talking,
divino.
I
One
could see
second.
that I was nervous, and then when I connected, um, again I could see it. So I thought that I could see that it was happening.
So you're aware of nervousness, just like you're aware of the words we're talking, aware of Miguel translating, all of it, right? Just watch from awareness. Does it matter?
Gracias,
Does
hermoso.
does it matter so much what you're aware of? We can see that awareness is constantly here.
Sí, lo veo, gracias.
Yes, I could see that. Thank you.
It's beautiful because we lose this idea that I've lost, I'm gone. You know, when attention goes to phenomena, we can no longer believe that I'm not here as the I am or the awareness, right? I must be here before I notice anything, even if I feel really distracted or resistant, restless. I'm here first to notice that, to be aware of it. Can't experience anything until I'm here first. So everything that comes up that seems to make you feel that you've lost it, you've gone, you can use that to recognize, actually, I can see that thought. I can see that restlessness. I'm aware of it all. I'm still right here. Yeah. That's how
Sí, es
simple
divertido.
meditation can be. That's the simpleness of the meditation here. Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
Divino. Gracias.
Okay, so we'll finish with Santo. I don't know if we get time, Gaurav. We'll see if we can. Santo, when you're ready. Hi.
Hello.
Wonderful.
I explored different doors, and now I found some combination actually works also very good, like being here awake.
Yeah.
So just wanted to know your experience with that. It feels for me, it pulls me back from different ways I got lost in the mind.
Yeah. It's
So,
natural. We start to see that all these doors are pointing to the same thing. So for me, awareness, as soon as I noticed the word awareness, there was this recognition of silence. Awareness is completely silent. And then that would immediately take me to the silence is completely still, stillness. So it became this awareness, silence, stillness. It was kind of, I couldn't really focus on one or the other. It was just all, And eventually they will all just merge into one because they are one. They're just pointing us to different ways in. So it's very, very normal. Yeah. You can
okay.
see beingness, it has to be here, right? Beingness, it can't be, I can't exist over there. I'm existing here. So, and there's an aliveness to that, awakeness to that beingness. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yes. Yes, I notice also different times. Sometimes something else came up, like which helped me easier to as a door.
Mm.
But I don't want to change too much. But yeah, okay.
As long as whatever word we're using points us to something intangible and formless, it's totally
Yes.
okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
perfect. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we will finish with Gaurav.
Sorry, I had a little issue with trying to unmute myself,
No problem, no problem.
but I think, yeah, just perhaps not really a question. Um, so this recognition of this formless essence that I am is here even before the doorways.
Yeah,
So to me, it looks like you just use the doorways to play with them.
they're just
Play with
words, right? They're just
formlessness.
words
Yeah.
ultimately. Yeah.
But the way I've seen you describe them, it looks like you play with them. Like for me, there was a period of time of sitting with each of the doorways for a certain period of time.
Mm.
But now when I sit for a formal meditation, the recognition of this pristine awareness is there before even a doorway shows up,
Yeah.
right? A doorway might show up, oh, there is awareness. Oh, there's complete and absolute silence.
Mm.
I'm just being. These show up after, right?
Yeah, and we only need those words as long as we need them. Eventually, there's just an immediate, continuous knowing of that which is beyond all words, that has no describable nature. We can only say what it's not. It's not tangible, it's not visible, it's, all of that. But there were some words that were just very helpful to help me see what I really was. The fact that stillness, the word stillness helped me to recognize I'm not moving at all. Things move inside me seemingly, but I'm not moving. And the word like I said, beingness just pointed to the fact that I've never done anything. I'm just being, can't do. And so all these words were just helpful. And many times over my practice, I thought I got to the point where I didn't want to use the doorways anymore. And it's true that I got to a place where I didn't need to, but it felt kind of dead. It felt kind of closed, stagnant, without that curiosity. So the doorways kind of still even now, like, what is awareness? And I don't sit and do a self-inquiry. I'm just like, what is awareness? And then I'll go into my meditation and whatever happens in that happens. And it feels alive and like I'm touching the infinite nature of myself. I can never really know what I am. I can taste it ever more deeply each day in meditation and in the rest of my day. So you reach a point where you don't need those names so much, the words, but you might want to still play with them.
So it's interesting you say that there was a certain staleness. For me, over the last month or so, there's been an increasing fun desire, you could say, to meditate with my eyes open. So there was a stillness that perhaps came about with the eyes closed. But the way it transpired was it supported this way of being in the world in a meditative way.
Mm,
And that was fun. Today, when I sit to meditate, the eyes stay open.
mm,
And there is a joy in seeing all that is seen as it is non-separate.
yeah,
So perhaps I'm not using the doorways as much, it feels, over the last month and a half, but there's more that the eyes are open and I could,
mm,
you know, you
yeah,
see, yeah.
yeah. And it's totally where it ends up. For me, the doorways were really useful to get to the point where I wanted to know awareness, whether my eyes were open or closed, the body's running, sitting, sleeping, whatever, right? Just to be able to feel the same in my deepest meditation as I do in the busiest airport or train station or supermarket. And something wouldn't rest until, not that I was suffering, but it was like I want to find it everywhere, the same meditation everywhere, available everywhere all the time. So it's something that I am being rather than some practice I'm doing. It can still appear like that, of course. Um, and that's how it ends up, right? We all find eventually that it begins to break into the rest of the waking state off the meditation seat, off the cushion, and eventually it's just how you're living. And there isn't really any difference between seated meditation and the rest of your day.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Thank you
Thank
so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so wonderful. So it's a beautiful place to leave it. Just want to say two things before we finish for today. We've looked at where meditation goes over the weeks and months, but let's just start 20 minutes a day, picking one of the doorways that you like. Use the guided meditations if it's easier for you. It was the same for me to start off with. Notice that we're not trying to achieve anything, we're just resting in that, whichever doorway, bringing attention back. There's no such thing as a good or bad meditation here. There's just whatever appears in meditation, however it goes today is perfect. And even months and years into the practice, my attention would still wander to phenomena. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's helpful. When it wanders, I've got another opportunity to come back and notice awareness or silence or whatever. So the phenomena are helping us, even physical pain, even resistance, avoidance, restlessness, fear, shame. They can all be used to notice, I'm aware of these, I'm seeing these, I'm present to these. There is no phenomenon that we cannot use in our meditation. All of this is here to help us recognize ourselves. That is the highest use of all phenomena, is to let it show us what is aware of it. That's really what we're calling meditation here. So 20 minutes a day, more and more consistently, eventually every day. And at first you'll feel like not so easy, but over time you can become more consistent. And the benefits of meditation, as well as helping you see who you are, you're going to realize also it helps you sleep better, feel better, more energy, more clarity, more focus during the day, and 1,000 other benefits that we don't have time to go through. So most of all, don't try with this. Just have a go and see. Don't try hard. Just see what happens in your meditation. And remember that every single awakened being, every sage, every teacher has started right where you are. I still remember the very first meditation I did like this. It was extremely, I lost count of how, not that I was counting, but how many times my attention wandered away. And my body was pacing around the room, wouldn't sit down. So if I can do this, so can you. So thank you so much to our amazing co-hosts and our amazing translators. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you so, so much. Lots of love. Namaste.